Hi everyone, welcome to Barbecue Live. This is Barbecue Live Part 3 today. We are actually back at Fat Daddy Meats. We're broadcasting both live on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live tonight, as we've done the last couple shows. So we're going to give everyone just a couple minutes here to tune in. I know you're not here to listen to me. You're here to listen to Chef Lisa, but we got a few things we got to take care of, talk about some giveaways, kind of talk about what to expect tonight, and also show you just a real short video from Chef Lisa about what she's doing tonight as well. So please don't forget, comment to where you're tuning in from today. We'd love to hear where everyone's at. And we're going to get things started off, like I said, here in just a few minutes with a giveaway. We actually have 3 giveaways tonight, and you'll really want to stick around because the second giveaway is, I believe, is going to be one of Chef Lisa's meat cleavers. Several of you have asked about that. It's the Gunther Wilhelm meat cleaver. And then toward the end, we're going to be giving away a Traveler Traeger, kind of like a tailgating grill. So definitely going to want to stick around for that as well. So again, welcome to Barbecue Live Part 3. This is our third and final episode of this digital series before we start moving into the live events at our stores later this month. As a refresher, Part 1 took place right here at Fat Daddy Meats. Chef Lisa and JJ walked us through kind of the barbecue meat selection process. Part 2 took us all the way down to Millersburg Brewing Company, where, yes, we had some technical difficulties, but if you were able to catch us on our premiere video a few days later, you saw that head brewer Marty and Chef Lisa gave us tremendous insight into pairing beer with barbecue dishes, and we got a very cool kind of sneak peek to the brewery operations and how they can their beer. So we're super excited to have everyone here today. If you tuned into the first 2 episodes, thank you very much. And also thanks for being patient with us as we're kind of still getting the hang of things with these Facebook or these virtual events. Like I said, we're broadcasting live from Fat Daddy Meats here in Massillon, Ohio. If you've never been here or are interested in coming, they're located in the Save-A-Lot Plaza, kind of right along the river here. Fat Daddy Meats is one of our local partners this year for online and in-store barbecue events. So if you come to any of our in-store events, you'll also see them there, where you can talk to the owners as well. And then Chef Lisa Pucci Delgado, also in partnership with Traeger Grills. So there's a reason we have selected the partners we did. Okay, we're big into Traeger Grills at E&H Hardware. We love them, live them and breathe them every day. We've got a lot of experts on the Traeger Grills. But, Chef Lisa, Fat Daddy Meats, Millersburg Brewing Company. These are all locally owned and operated businesses. Some of you may not be that familiar with E&H Hardware Group or E&H Hardware. We're a family-owned organization. We operate 25 locations. We're based in Worcester, Ohio. We do operate under many names in addition to E&H Hardware. Hoffman's Ace Hardware if you're in the Akron area, Moe's Outdoor Equipment and Supplies in Springboro, and then Appleseed Ace Hardware in Mansfield. So first and foremost, if you haven't been to the first 2 events, I want to introduce celebrity and personal chef Lisa Pucci Delgado. She's based in Northeast Ohio. She does everything from gourmet made-from-scratch home meal deliveries to in-home cooking demonstrations. She competes in barbecue competitions, including Memphis in May that's coming up here, I believe, next week. And she's also in charge of the culinary team at Vintage Ohio in Northeast Ohio. It's a Vintage Ohio Wine Fest. And she's now our go-to barbecue expert. So before I hand it over to Chef Lisa, we're going to get things started off with a small giveaway to two lucky winners. Right after the giveaway, I'm going to show you a quick 15-second video, and then we'll hand it over to Chef Lisa. So what I'm looking for is go ahead and comment. We'd like to know what you're looking forward to grilling this summer. So if you can just go ahead and stick that in the comments section. We'll pick 2 winners to win, each win one of our E&H Hardware logo drink tanks. I've talked about these before, but they're really nice in the summer months as you're grilling. Throw some beer in it or whatever your beverage of choice to keep it cold. They're also a little bit nicer than a coffee mug because they're easier to hold, especially if you have smaller hands. So. Okay, so go ahead and stick those answers in the comment box, and we'll work on giving these 2 away. I'm going to go ahead and before we turn it over to Chef Lisa here, I'm going to go ahead and show you just a quick video of her food prep today. And she couldn't do everything on the Traeger grill in the hour that we have, so she went ahead and did a little bit of prep work of the pork belly pork belly meat for today's session. So we'll go ahead and check out that video. We'll come back and then we'll go live to
belly has the skin on. If you get the skin on, you'll get that nice crispy outside. You're going to score the outside really quick, doing crisscross, cutting just through the top layer of fat, then heavily season. You always want to do heavily season. Both sides, let it sit overnight to get the best flavors. And there we have it. We're going to stick it on the Traeger now and get ready to roast it for, this goes for approximately a little over 6 hours. Cinco de Mayo, and welcome to our third part of our series for our pre-series before we get into, like I told you, the bigger events, which will be at the various Ace Hardware stores. Don't forget, those will all be open to the public. Those will be a lot of fun because Fat Daddy Meats will be there with me at every demonstration, because I'll be doing more of a more meal type things that you can do at home for those demonstrations. Fat Daddy Meats will have all kinds of different meats. They'll have a tent set up. So we're gonna make it almost your one-stop shop, so you can get everything you need of what I'm doing, or if you choose to do something a little bit different, they'll have everything you need as well. So today we're finalizing this third part of the series with some, like I announced last time, pork belly tacos. Now, I'm gonna show you how to do everything from scratch. So it's a very simple meal, but it's just gonna be so full of flavor. The pork belly, of course, because of the magic of TV, you saw my little video, because pork belly takes a little over 6 hours. So I'm gonna kind of show you, I'm doing the last part of it tonight with you guys, so you can kind of see that final step. But this is the pork belly. That's after it roasted on the Traeger for a little over 6 hours at 200 degrees, and got that done. So what I'm gonna do for the last step of that is we're gonna flip it over to try to crisp up that outside and get a nice crunch on the skin part, on the fat part. Pork belly, let's talk about pork belly real quick. Let me get a zoom in on this. Pork belly, believe it or not, some know, some don't know. See if I can get this picked up a little bit on one side. Pork belly is bacon, guys. You can see it's nice and tender. So you can see the layers of meat inside. That's your bacon. So you would slice it up and bam, you have bacon. So basically this is just, of course, all the Latin seasoning, but you can do some nice plain flavorings and smoke a pork belly and make your own bacon at home, no problem, very easy. And we can do that on another episode, not a problem, super simple. But we're going to do tonight are the Puerto Rican style soup beans. These are one of my favorite types of beans to do, and it pairs really nice with these street tacos. I'm going to do hard shell and soft shell for you tonight. We're going to put it together at the end, and of course we're all going to dig in and sample, but we're going to make beer beans tonight. And also I'm going to use the juiced, the pork belly. I had a little pan of water underneath, so all those drippings, I saved all those drippings, which I do when I do all kinds of my meats. I'll save the drippings because I'm a chef that I save everything. Like if I'm steaming vegetables and stuff like that, I'll save the water from the steamed vegetables, that nice green flavorful water. I'll freeze it. I'll use it for soups or sauces and things like that. I don't waste anything because I want everybody to be able to taste full flavor instead of using I don't want to say the word bouillon, but no, we don't use bouillon. But this is what I got out of the pork belly. So I'm going to let him zoom in a little bit on this. And you can see, I'm going to use a little bit of the fat. That's the fat, but look at all that nice, that's when you know it's real broth. When you see that gelatin, there's no gelatin in it. This is the actual broth. So this is going to be part of our soup beans. This and the beer, and it's going to make the best flavor ever. So that's why I'm showing you, always save your juices from meats. Even if you're roasting something in the oven, save that broth, save that juice, let it gelatinize, stick it in the fridge. You can even freeze it, save it for when you're doing stews and stuff like that. So yeah, I got to put these on. So we're going to get started on our soup beans. Once I get started on these, then once they're in the pot and going, then we're going to go ahead and throw that pork belly on and get that outside done so we can come back in, finish the beans, and dish this out for you guys. We also have some great giveaways for tonight. We're going to be giving away that Gunther Wilhelm knife tonight that you saw in the last 2 episodes, that nice big cleaver. It's got the my logos on it, Gunther Wilhelm logos on it. You're going to be really excited about this. It's an amazing knife, so keep a lookout for that. And we're also giving away a portable Traeger, like a camping grill. It takes the pellets and everything for tailgating or anything like that. So like I said, every one of these things that we do, we're going to be giving away some great products for you guys to get your barbecue on at home or have a lot of fun and trying different things and the tools that you need to use for barbecue. You know, you got to have good tools to use. Gunther Wilhelm, I use them. It's the only knife I use, my only cookware I use. So it's a great product. So I'm really happy somebody's going to get that in their hands for this giveaway. And who knows, we might be giving more knives away throughout the events, but you got to keep an eye on what we're doing. So let's get started real quick on the soup beans. Full of flavor, so I'm not going to use anything like too powdered or anything like that. I'm going to use a lot of fresh vegetable. I am going to use canned beans because to make a thicker soup bean, I'm going to keep the water because of the starch content, because I want a little bit of a thicker sauce. Not sauce, I don't want to say sauce, soup bean. So we're going to do garlic, onion, some nice peppers. I'm going to serve after. This will be jalapenos for after. We're going to have a nice avocado to serve with. I'm going to chop up a little bit of cabbage. That's just going to lay on the bottom of the street tacos. Chopped onion and cilantro is also going to be part of it, because a street taco, basically, all they do for a traditional street taco, it's not filled with, you know, the cheeses and sour creams and all. No, they don't do that. A traditional street taco is chopped cilantro, some type of hot sauce. Usually it's a hot sauce. I have tomatillo salsa for us tonight, and chopped cilantro. It's very simple, and then your meat. That's all they put on it, because you're just getting just the nice balance of flavor instead of masking. We don't want to mask flavors. We want everything that we want you to flavor, taste everything. So we're going to get started with chopped garlic, and we're going to chop some onion because we need the onion, and chop cilantro for the top part. So basically this is our mise en place. This is our prep part. Okay, so take off the tops of your garlic. I got to get the glasses on again, guys. That's what happens when you reach, you know, that young age of what, 25? Just kidding. Okay. And if you have any questions throughout any of these segments, just ask. They'll let me know, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. Now, don't make the mistake of like starting to chop, because, you know, it'll take you forever. Like, shortcuts are great. So, blade side down, the thick part, and just smash. Smash, just smash it. So when you smash it, it's going to be, you'll see, it's going to be so much easier to chop up for what we're doing. Gather it all together. Now, when you're slicing, don't make the mistake of your fingers. When you're slicing and using a knife, see how I'm tilting that knife a little bit? Always keep your knife tilted, keep your fingers in, and just start chopping. And you can see most of it's already done for us. Otherwise, you'd be there forever mincing your garlic. Just a rough cut. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to turn on our little portable cooktop. Are we on? We're on. Turn that on a little bit. Okay. Next we're going to do, I'm going to get a little bit of this prep done real quick so I can start sauteing. I have some nice Vidalia onions. So we'll get these chopped up. These will go in the soup beans, and they'll also be the garnish on top of our tacos. Today, trick to onions. Yeah, we all cry, and it doesn't always work, but when you're chopping onions, don't breathe through your nose. Block your nose and breathe through your mouth, because if you breathe through your mouth, you won't get that the onion fumes to go up into your nasal cavity, and that's how your eyes start watering. So close off the nose and start chopping, and just breathe through your mouth. Little trick for chopping onions. Another thing I want to talk about is limes. A simple thing like limes. I'm going to have him try to zoom in as best as I can on these two limes right here as I start these. Now, if you notice this one over here, you see it's kind of bumpy, and then this one's very nice and smooth. Little trick when you're going shopping, 95% of the time it's going to work. Sometimes it doesn't. That's just typical in veggies. But the bumpier limes, believe it or not, are going to be more of those. You ever open a lime that's just pulpy and you're like, where the hell is the juice? There's no juice in this lime. If you get the ones that are smooth, 99% of the time, the smooth ones are full of juice. They're bursting with juices, where these are like those dried limes that you get all the time. So just try to stay away from the bumpy ones. We don't want those. We want this one. So a little trick on limes for you, or those for lemons too. right. Chopping onions. So this is how I chop onions. Of course, that happened. Everybody has their own method, but it's easy to cut it into slices first, or if you don't cut all the way through and then start chopping. But that is the easiest way to do it. Because you can do it this way too and not go all the way through. I know a lot of chefs do it like this, where you don't cut all the way in the back. So if you go this route, you go almost all the way down. There's all kinds of methods. You want the skin, and then of course you have all of your nice little pieces this way too. And then when you get to the end, skin, you know, just kind of chop it up. And get to that last. All right. Onion, one more, because we need a lot of onions. All right, done. Okay, next we're going to do the cilantro. Now, nice fresh cilantro. Make sure when you pick your vegetables out, kind of go through, because sometimes you got those yucky, gummy brown parts. What I don't do, I do not throw away the stems, and I'll tell you why. When you're making like this, I'll save the tops. I'll save for like the garnish and stuff like that when I'm doing dishes. So we'll get these guys chopped up for the garnish, for the decorating part that goes on top of our street tacos. Okay, so we get that done. Put it in our little cubbies here. And now the reason why I save the stems, these guys have so much flavor. So if I'm doing a Spanish styled soup or something like that, I will save the stems. I will cut off, like this was the top part of the cilantro. I will cut off the end just because like the end part, I'll throw that away. But I'll save this. This is full of flavor that you can strain out. So I will chop this up because you have a tremendous amount of flavor in these stems. And this is what I'm going to use in my soup beans. It's going to give that nice cilantro flavor, because if you, and then at the end I'll probably add a little bit of chop just to keep that nice fresh greenery in there, because if you put your cilantro chopped up in too soon, then if you ever notice, if you do it with parsley or any type of fresh herbs, by the time your soup or stuff is done, like it's not green anymore, it's just kind of like brown and like, ow. You want to keep that nice fresh flavor, so always put like the nice tender leaves in last. If you're doing parsley or basil, keep the stems, use that for flavor. Don't want too much of it. Okay, so this is what we're going to use in the soup. Keep that, yeah, very fresh smell. Peppers, instead of cutting like this and then taking the seeds out, start at the top and cut down and get all the little, and you're kind of cutting away, because you don't want the white part, and I'll tell you why you don't want the white part. There's another thing you're going to learn tonight. The white part actually is a bitter flavor. It gives more of a bitter flavor to your dishes. So when you get peppers, you want to cut out that white part and not use it. You don't want to use that. You want the nice sweet meat of the pepper, not the bitterness of the pepper. So stay away from the white parts of the pepper. And so when I cut, I kind of go down so I can kind of get all of it, and then you just have a skeleton. So let's get all these done real quick. Nice pretty colors for our soup beans. We'll go all the way around. Just get the meat parts. Stay away from the white part. Little exoskeletons from our veggies. Oh, looks like we have a baby pepper. Baby peppers. Okay, so we're going to kind of chop these the same way. That's for decor. Decoration on it. That's for the tacos. So, I don't know if you can see. We're just going to slice these thin and just... Remember, these don't have to be perfect. They're not going on top for decoration or anything. This is for the soup beans, so, you know, they don't have to be the most beautiful things in the world. They're just getting mowed anyways by us and enjoyed, and nobody's going to care that they are perfectly chopped. This is a rustic, fun dish, so you don't have to, it's not fine dining, so you don't have to make it perfect. Now, when I do my fine dining, of course, yes, I would be a little more... I got to be careful with my verbiage. I've been good so far, guys. All of our events, I've been very good. It's been hard for me, but I've been very good. I do have a little bit of a potty mouth, but what chef doesn't? Okay, so let's get some of these. Cut, 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 cut. Get a little bit of the orange ones. All right, so now we're going to get started on these soup beans. So we have all of our prep done. Always do your prep first. Always, always, always. Okay, our pan is definitely nice and hot. I might chop those up in a little while, but we'll wait on that. Okay, so we are going to start with the fat from my pork. This is already starting to melt. Let me get some of this out. Okay. So I'm going to skim the fat off this. Sizzle, sizzle. We are going to throw in our garlic, our onions, I can smell that already. So you have that nice flavor from that smoky pork belly. So your beans now are going to be nice and have that light smoky flavor as well. Our peppers. Look at all those beautiful colors. Not only are you eating, like you think you're eating bad, you're thinking you're eating unhealthy, but you're not, because you can see the ingredients that are going in this. You know, I'm not using butter, I'm not using any hydrogenated oils, I'm not using any lard. A lot of those things do have lard and stuff like that in it. We're using the natural pork fat from the pork that we cooked, so you have all the flavors from that. And that's what these kind of dishes are all about, is about building flavors. You want to build those flavors in your dish. And you're going to be really proud when you're done, because you've used pretty much everything that you've cooked with. And that is the joy of cooking, guys. That is the best part of cooking. Being able to build different flavors by what you've already cooked with. So we're going to let that saute. Turn that up a little bit more. So I'm going to let that go just for a second. After that is done, I'm going to throw in my cilantro. So we're going to let this saute. Then I'm going to throw in my jello, my pork jello. And then we're going to throw in some beer. It is Cinco de Mayo, so cheers on that. We're going to throw in some beer there. And then season with a little bit of cumin, a little sazon. I have salt and pepper, nice and simple. I have so many flavors going on in this gelatin from the pork that I don't want to overdo it, because it's just going to be just full of flavor. But also real quick, so while we're doing this, a little more garlic over here, I am going to chop up the cabbage, because that's going to be a garnish. We'll slice the avocado later, because we all know avocado definitely will turn brown if we slice it now. So we are going to do our kind of our garnish now. Just a nice little head of cabbage. Of course, you got the hole in there, so I very carefully make a slit on each side. Peel that out.
Is there a reason you chose purple cabbage?
Color.
Color.
Yes. So the purple cabbage color. A lot of your vegetables with the color, if like you have green cabbage and stuff like that, there is a lot of different vitamin or mineral components when you start working with the colors. That's why I picked the different color of the peppers. I picked the purple cabbage because you have like the different beta carotenes and stuff that are going on. So there's advantages in different vegetables that you pick. So we're going to slice off that top a little bit so I can get the nice, we want to get the rings. Take your time. I've been doing this forever, so I mean, don't go fast. But, or if you have a mandolin, use the mandolin. So, but we just want very little thin shaved pieces because this is going to decorate the bottom of our tacos. You can see how sharp these knives are. This is what you guys are going to get your hands on. This is a great everyday knife, so maybe we'll do one of these in the future too. The one that we're giving away today is that nice big chopper. I use that to cut my chickens in half. So I actually can just whack the chicken in half and it's already cut in half, done. So here is the nice cabbage that
we had a viewer, Scott Schultz, said he's been cutting peppers all wrong.
Ah, Scott! Well, we all have. That's what these things are for. So all these videos is for you to do and experience and do different things at home and maybe learn a little bit on the way, maybe things you didn't know before. You know, methods and as being a chef. So there's things that, I mean, I'm learning every day, different stuff. So we're going to use that to plate. Let's cut our lime up. Okay, for decorate, so we get all of our prep done. Oh, I'm losing. Oops. Okay, so we'll put that aside. Always get your prep done first. So when you're cooking and doing stuff like what I'm doing today, don't start the whole project and then go back and try to do everything. Try to get as much prep done as you can at first and get it all done, which is your mise en place. And then that way, once you start cooking, everything's done, so you can just start, like, you know, bam and boom, and just start throwing all the stuff in because it's already done for you. You don't have to prep it. You usually have a sous chef do that for me, but I am all of it today. So these are nice and browning now, so we're good. They're nice and cooked. I am going to use sazon. I'm going to use cumin. I am going to use a little Spanish paprika, cerveza, and my jello, my pork jello. Okay, so I'm gonna put the beans in almost, not last, but I'm gonna put it in after everything else is in. Then I'll put the beans in because this is what's going to thicken. I'm not using potatoes today, but we are going to be using corn on the cob. This is gonna be part of our starch. So, fresh sweet corn. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to do pieces of corn. Let's see which works. I'm not sure. Sometimes I change between the two of them, so get that top part off. So we're going to cut little, this one works just fine. We're going to cut the corn up into pieces, and then I'm going to chop all these in half. We're going to leave everything together. You wouldn't believe how much flavor this will add to your soup. Sweet flavor. Oh my gosh. When I make Spanish soup, I always big chunks of corn. A lot of Spanish soup, chunks of veggies and stuff. They're not like pieces. Flavor. It's all about bold flavors. Our corn done. That's just going to go in, not in the beginning, but right in the middle of what we're doing. Okay. Let's add our jello. So here's our jello. Look at that. Like I said, there is nothing added to this, guys. This is straight juice from that pork. Watch as it melts in there. It's turning right back into the juice. Now that is amazing flavor right there. Look at all that. Beautiful. You're not going to find that in the store, guys. That's liquid gold right there. It gets a lot of flavor. Okay, perfect. Okay, cerveza time. Throw in our beer. Aren't these great? These cute little These cute modelitos. It's like the coronitas. You ever see those little coronitas? I always saw those. I never saw the little modelos, and I was like, I grabbed a bunch of them. Couldn't help myself. So we got the beer beans working. Got that working. Next, I'm going to do a little sazon. This carries like your color, and it has a little bit of, little Spanish flavorings. I think this one has the little bit of, well, it's mostly the color, annatto color, a little bit of hydrated garlic and onion, but a lot of Spanish flavorings will use sazon. Some sazon has MSG in it. This one does not. It's just given the color. And annatto is actually natural. It's actually a plant. So the flower, like the seeds, when it's done blooming, it forms a pod. You pick the pod off when you open the pod. And I know this because, well, my husband's Puerto Rican, and so when our property has a lot of the annatto seeds on the property. So I learned about that being married for the last 25 years. I learned that in the beginning of our marriage. I was just so excited to be able to make my own annatto. So if pod, when it's just about done, sometimes you see the pods on the trees when they're done blooming and stuff. You open that up, you have these little seeds. They take those seeds, they boil them in the lard or the oil, which gives it that nice rich orangey yellow color, and that's what they use, like, the old-fashioned way they use. But now we have Goya sazon, we have this kind of sazon, different methods to be able to do this. So as you can see, it gave a nice, there's our color. So I'll move this up a little bit, get that to...
Any beer for this?
Huh?
Can you use any beer?
You can use any beer. Don't use flavored beers, so you want to use, stick to your basic beers. When I'm doing like a Spanish style, I will use more of a Spanish beer, Mexican beer, and stuff like that. But if I'm doing like beer can chicken and stuff like that, yeah, then you can, Guinness is great for that, or different things like that. You can go more gourmet on your beers. But, Bud Light, Michelob, any of those are great beers for doing stuff like that for marinating. Okay, let's add our beans. I'm keeping everything because I want thick beans. Stir that in. Save the can. I always save my utensils. Okay, so that's going to come to a boil. We're going to cover that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a little bit of paprika. Add a little paprika. Okay, so now let's talk about the pork belly a little bit, because we're going to go outside and we're going to finish while this boils. So I want this to cook down a little bit.
So measuring spices, does that come with experience, or?
That comes with experience, yes. It's like, there's always that one saying is, how do you know how much to put? It's like, grandmother whispers from the heavens, just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I grew up in the cooking world. I mean, being in an Italian family, our whole life revolved around the kitchen. Everything was in the kitchen. So I guess just from watching all your life, I'm blessed to have that experience and having that in my family life. So just knowing how much and tasting all the time. So yes, follow a recipe if you want to look at a recipe. Sometimes I use a recipe for guidance if I don't know how to do something, but I don't use recipes. I use everything in my head. So I know a lot of people are like, you need to write a cookbook. I'm like, I can't write a cookbook. I have to get a translation whole program, because if I tell you, it probably wouldn't even come out right, because I don't know how much I'm putting of everything. And I've been just doing this for years. So I'm going to grab, let's see if I can find one of my nifty-difty little spoons here. Is this a spoon? Yay. Okay, so I am going to do one of my little tastings because I want to taste flavor. Do I need salt? Do I need pepper? I don't need much. I don't need any salt. I don't need any pepper. You know why? That Jell-O had all that flavor. So I don't even need to add, because all the spices I have in there, I have pepper. Everything I used on that is in that Jell-O. So that's another plus. No adding salt, no adding pepper. I don't even need to do that. Okay, so we're going to let this, it's starting to bubble up a little bit. We want that to cook. Now, for the pork belly. The pork belly, I did a rub, and I did this the night before I put it on. I did paprika. I did a little bit of the sazon. My Always my go-to is I love the Trinity from B&B, but the B&B this is like a season, an all kind of season, an all-purpose seasoning. It's a great seasoning. And then I did Piggy Bank. So you can use any type of barbecue rub. It doesn't have to be this. So any type of rub would work for that more of that barbecue like rub flavor. So I heavily seasoned. You saw that little video that they played in the front. Don't be afraid to heavily season, because all those seasonings have to go in, and you want those flavors and everything to go into the meat, because as that fat melts at 200 degrees for over 6 hours, that fat is slowly melting, and all those seasonings that's on the fat slowly melting in all that meat, so it's going to season that meat. Okay, we're coming to a boil now. Perfect. Okay, so now we are going to put this pork belly on the grill, but now the last part is to stick it upside down, fat side down, because I want to crisp it up a little bit so before we start putting all this together. I'm going to do that last. Okay, so let's head outside. Don't get my mess over here. I spilled a little. We'll have to get that clean up on aisle 3. Yeah, we're heading outside now. I'll need your broom, dude. Got it. Okay, so the last part of our pork belly, I remember, a little over 6 hours. And another thing I want to tell you guys, even though if you look up pork belly recipes, go by internal temperatures. I go by internal temperature a lot. I don't go by how many hours, because sometimes recipes aren't right. Like I explained earlier, like if I wrote one, it wouldn't be right. They're not always right, so do not depend on them. So always go by internal temperature. Now, when you're doing a pork belly, when you're doing the slow roast for over 6 hours, it depends on the size of the pork belly as well. But you want an internal temperature of 195 degrees for a pork belly. That's what you want for a pork belly. So depend on your thermometer or your probe from your grill. Do not depend on that recipe for how many hours it's going to cook. Because sometimes I see, cook a steak for 4 minutes on each side, and it's been well done. You know what I mean? So you don't want to go by that. You want to use your thermometer, because I like a medium rare steak. So, you always go by internal temperature. It's the safest way to get the meat cooked how you like it, not by however that recipe person wrote it. So, enough of that. We're at now for our last cook. We're going to put it fat side down, because like I said, I want to crisp up a little bit. We have it at 375 degrees. Of course, it's dropping right now because it's open. This guy's pretty flexible because he's nice and soft. He's been going for so long. The magic of TV, come in and voila, pork belly is done. Okay, so here comes the fun part. Here we go. As you can see, a lot of that melted in already. Look at that. Oh yeah, it's not hot. Thank you. No, now it'll be after it stays in there for a while. You're like,
come by when it's later.
So we're gonna let this go. We're gonna go back inside. We're gonna set the timer. I'm gonna wash my pork belly hand. So we're gonna let that go we're gonna check it after about 15 minutes. La 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 la. No, I made a mess over here. My veggies dropped all over your floor. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I'll clean it. I just need your broom. I'm not asking you to clean it. Okay. So our beans are cooking down. We're going to let that go. Usually this would take a little longer. We're doing made for TV today, so this would be on a lower boil and just cook for a little while so everything, gets thicker and it wouldn't be so soupy. So just so you know.
Is a little while like 30 minutes or like 2 hours?
No, it would be, I would put the beans in later. I would probably put the corn. I would add potatoes. I'm just trying to stay away from too much starch from it, but potatoes would thicken it up a lot. But yeah, the beans and everything. So you would put it on a simmer and probably cook it for about an hour or so till it starts thickening up a little bit. And of course, the magic of TV also. Voila! Our rice is already done. So I used a short grain rice and trick on rice. Now you can see the rice here. One of those things people are like, oh, rice is easy. It's like pasta's so easy. No, it's really not. I've been to some places where my pasta was horrid and rice was blown out. You ever gone, no offense to some of the Mexican restaurants, but most of them, you go to the Mexican restaurants, you get your dish of rice and you're looking at the rice and it's just like, you know, it's blown out. That's the blown out look. That's because it's either been sitting in the steamer too long or they use too much water it's horrible. Rice is should be like al dente pasta. So when you're making rice and you're looking at another thing, looking at the package, always add probably about a quarter cup of water less than what the package tells you, because I've tried both methods just to test it out. So I've been cooking rice for years, and every time I follow the recipe on the bag, my rice would be it would be shitty. It would be. Yeah, I would go about a quarter cup less water from what the directions say of what serving size that you're working on. So when you're making your rice should be almost individually. So when you're taking your bite of your rice, it should be totally just encapsulated in your mouth. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't feel like the blown out look. Nice and firm on the outside, and then you bite into it, but it's a soft piece of rice, but it's not all mushy. So that is the perfect bite right there. Okay, we got this going. We're gonna set that timer. I think that's magic of phones. We should do a giveaway. Let's start the timer for 15 minutes. So should we do a giveaway?
Yeah, do you want to do
Yeah?
Do you want to do the knife?
Yeah, let's do the knife. Okay, guys, so you know we're giving away the Gunther Wilhelm knife. The one I showed, well, I've been using it the last 2 episodes that we did, pre-episodes. It's that big chopper knife. It's got the nice hole in there if you want to hang it. It's very heavy. It's the perfect chopping knife for your kitchen, for your barbecue. And but what is your favorite tool to use? What is your go-to? I know I have my go-tos. Like I said, I use that cleaver when I'm doing my half chicken grills, or if I'm doing just different cuts. If I need to cut through bone, it'll be that cleaver. But it's a great cleaver for making nice chops. This is my go-to all the time because this is a great everydayer knife. This one, and this is another one I use all the time. This is great as well. And if you can see all these little slits, that's for when you're cutting meat, because the juice slips goes through in between. That's what those little things are in your knife for. So when you're cutting meats and things, it's easier to cut, and it cuts through better because all the juices will go through. That's what those slits are for.
Is that a better every?
They're both. It just depends. I know a lot of people, some people I work with prefer this. It's just what I prefer. A lot of times, these are my 2 go-to knives all the time for chopping. But everybody has their preference. Okay. We are going to give this another little bite. Oh, God. So good. So good. Everything's coming along perfect. 15 minutes on that. I think, did we set it okay? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is going in last. This is for putting together. I think we're doing that one giveaway, and we're doing the knife first.
Yeah.
He's working on the knife, and I think we had a couple other giveaways. We give away tumblers and stuff like that too. Great. So any questions that you guys have for me? When we're done with this today, every time that we do these live events, I go afterwards and I go through all of your comments, and I look through all of them, and I'll answer all of you. Just to make sure I get to everyone, so I don't ignore it. So I just want you guys to know I do look through them. I look through all the comments, any questions. If you have any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer for you. So, oh, the Traeger Ranger. Yeah, we can do that now. Okay. So let's see. We have the Traeger Ranger. Trying to ask you guys questions if you've been paying attention. So the Traeger Ranger, like I said, is a pellet grill for camping, for tailgating. I saw it. It's a great little grill, and it takes the pellets, because a lot of those little grills take butane too sometimes, and we don't want to use that if you're gonna grill. Huh?
Do a picture of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's show a picture. So this is what we're giving away. We'll probably do another one. So this is what it looks like. It's a great grill.
We don't have it on site to show just because it's all boxed up right now. But,
oh, sorry.
You can jump
in color as well. Woo! So you can see what it can fit. So it can definitely take care of your needs if you're camping or doing tailgating. This is a great little grill.
So what we're going to do in order to give this away, we'll let you comment throughout the rest of the segment, throughout the rest of the episode for both of the giveaways that we're doing. So for your entry into the Traeger Ranger tailgating grill, what we need to know is, first of all, have you enjoyed the 3-part series? And what was your favorite part? What did you learn? So that's what we need to know in order for you to get an entry into that. Did you enjoy it, and what did you learn? If you want to enter for the cleaver entry as well, tell us just what's your favorite prep tool when you're grilling. That's all we need to know. That'll get you entered, and we'll notify the winner after the show.
Yay! Okay, everyone. So we have how many more minutes? 10 more minutes on our pork belly. I am going to start getting ready. Like I said, I'm doing 2 different types of tacos, 2 different styles for you guys with my nifty taco plate. You like this? This is from Tuxton, China. They are one of my sponsors, along with Gunther Wilhelm, and I have different sponsors that make my food come alive, and the tools that I use and that I require to do my everyday job. Soft tacos. I hope you guys have been enjoying these series. It's been a lot of fun. I know we've gotten a lot of different responses of how-tos and what to do. Like I said, I'll probably use some of your requests and some of your questions. I'll take the bulk because a lot of people want to know the same things. So that's what I'll use as the bulk of, of the most popular things that I see that are on there. Okay, so we'll do the soft tacos. I myself have a very busy week, so I am getting geared up. I have an Egg Fest coming up this Friday, and then next week I actually leave for the big Memphis in May barbecue competition, which I'm really excited about. We're all excited to get back to normal a little bit. This is one of the biggest barbecue competitions in the United States. It's a big, huge festival, so it's called Memphis in May, and it's almost, I think, a 2 or 3 week long, but the barbecue competition's at the very end of it. I'm on a professional barbecue competition team, and I've been with the team for 4 years now. So they do like a whole Beale Street Music Festival for the first part. There's so much going on. So if you ever want to check it out and you ever want to take a trip, it is an amazing place to visit, especially with all the music and everything. There's so much history with Memphis and the music, and the barbecue there, of course, is the best ever. So we got that going. We're going to be putting that together. We're going to, for rice and beans, I'm going to be doing soup beans as well. We have some nice spicy, gotta have spicy jalapenos. So when we do the soup beans, let me get this cleaned out. I'm gonna put it in a little plate so you can see the soup beans separately as well, like by itself, because I'm gonna put the white rice on the bottom and then I'm gonna spoon the soup beans on top. So that'll be for the street tacos. So we'll just put the soup beans in there. And then, so let's go give a check on, I just wanna check out to see how our pork belly's doing, because sometimes it can go really, really fast.
Chef Lisa,
yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where is a good place to get rubs for, especially for bulk seasonings?
Get rubs?
Where do you get bulk seasonings for rubs?
Well, if you're going to get bulk seasonings, usually stores won't carry that. So you would have to contact a lot of the barbecue rub places individually, like the companies, and actually ask for if you want like a bulk amount. Oh, she's caramelizing beautifully, guys. Let me see if I can lift this for you.
So it's slit side down.
Oh, yeah.
So I forgot to turn my light on.
So a lot of people will freak out like, oh, but you're letting all the juice out. No, because you have to realize this went for over 6 hours fat side up. So all that fat melted through the meat. We already got full flavor through the meat, like this little piece here. Yeah, we already got all that flavor. Oh, It is tender and juicy, you guys. So good. So good. Oh my God.
I did not turn my mic on for the giveaway, so just ask people if they heard what the giveaway.
Oh,
heard the giveaway
okay.
questions. If not, we can repeat it.
Sure.
Just have a comment if they heard okay.
Okay. So I just got word that this is almost done. We're gonna take this off in just a minute. I just got word that his mic may have not been working for the giveaways. So can you guys like comment and let us know if you heard him? If not, we'll do it again so you can hear it. Let us know so we can get that done for you. So we're gonna do, I don't even know, what time are we on?
6:22.
Is it already? Okay. So I wanna try to make this as quick as possible for you guys because these are supposed to be the pre-series. When we do the ones at Ace Hardware stores, those will be a little bit longer because we'll have Fat Daddy Meats. It's gonna be a whole production for you guys. So we are going to take this off. Let's get these tacos going. It's definitely, I tasted it. It's deliciously amazing. Flip it over. You're fine. There she is. Perfect. Shut down the grill. Okay. Let's put these tacos together. I hope everybody's grabbing their beer. Okay. We're gonna let this just sit for just a second. I'm gonna tune my soup beans down just a little. I'm gonna add my corn now, guys. Let's add the corn. Corn does not take long at all to cook. We all know that. So that'll add that nice burst of flavor at the end here. It has thickened up quite a bit already, so that's great. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Here comes the best part. Let's get this cleaned up so we can put this together. Always keep your space clean when you're cooking. Always, always, always.
If someone's grilling at home for a smaller, 1, 2 people or a family, can they buy a smaller portion of pork belly?
Absolutely. So when you go to your local butcher, they will cut the pork belly, or go to a butcher, even at Fat Daddy Meats, they will order exactly what you need. So yeah, you don't have to get a ginormous, because pork bellies are around 8 to 11 pounds. Like, I'll use that no problem, but the average person is not going to use all that. But get it with the skin, because they'll ask you, you want the skin on or you want the skin off? You want the skin on because you want that nice fat content on the outside so it slowly cooks. If you're going to do it right, get the fat on. Fat layer off. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Okay. So first thing I want to do, is cut the pork belly. I got to put my, handy dandy glasses back on. I am going to try chunk. Look, guys. Nice and juicy. There's your bacon. Now, if you don't cook your pork belly is a fatter cut, but when you do it correctly, all that fat is going to melt. When I first got this was thick, okay? And you could see that big fat layer that's in there, but now that fat layer was probably about 1/4 of an inch thick. Now, when you're cooking it the right way and you're doing it at the 200 degrees and you're doing it proper and you're doing proper barbecue and you follow what you're supposed to do that till you reach the internal temperature of like the 195 for this dish, when you're doing pork belly, that's when you're cooking it fat side up. All that fat starts melting down and you end up mostly with your meat. So that fat layer, see this teeny weeny little layer right here? That's the fat layer now, which was about this this big. This is all meat. You are still going to have a little bit of a fat layer, but it's going to be definitely dissolved more than in half. More than in half. If you don't have that, you did not cook it right. And you'll have a big fat, it'll be fatty and you won't enjoy it. So take your time with your barbecue because it's definitely worth it in the end. Take your time. Okay. Okay, so we are going to cut slices. I wanted it to be a little more crispy on the outside. If I would have left it on there a little bit longer, this top would have been way more crispy, but we are limited on time. So I probably would have left that on for another 15 minutes, just so you guys know. But for the rest of it, it's perfect. All the meat layers, like I told you. This fat layer here, teeny weeny little fat layer, teeny weeny little fat layer. This was this thick. So this fat layer was about as big as this whole thing here, but it all melted through the meat. So that's what we're looking for. So we keep cutting so we can make these pork belly tacos. Just breaking apart on us. It's perfect. Look at that. Okay, I think we have a nice start for our pork belly. My greasy hands. Good grease, good grease. Okay, so let's put together some of these tacos. Plop. Again, clean up our area a little bit over here so I can grab this plate. We'll put this one together. This is the hard taco. We'll put this together first. This reduced quite a bit already, so I got a couple inches down on these. They definitely thickened up quite a bit, as you can see. They're definitely thicker, so that's good. That worked out perfect for us. That didn't take very long. I need, where is my spoon? Okay, so we are going to do a little bit of the chopped cabbage on the bottom. Okay. Oh, we lost the belly. Okay, a little bit of cabbage, a little bit of crunch and color. Then we are going to do, you know, that's what I did. I used all my onion. Ha ha ha. That happens too. You just get too excited when you're cooking. So let's get some onion cut real quick. Got too excited, I used all the onion. I used all my mise en place. Both methods I'll use. Both methods I showed you. The slits, of course, fast, fast, done, done. So, okay. Now, we'll put in a little bit of onion on the bottom. Okay. Now we'll put in our pork belly. A couple pieces in each one. That's all you need. Okay. Pork belly. A little bit of the chopped cilantro. Garnish the top a little bit with some of that. We'll put it on the board after so you guys can see the final. Now we're going to put some of the rice.
We want to announce the winner of the Traeger grill.
Yeah.
His name's, okay,
Come on, we're going to announce the winner of the Traeger.
We're going to announce the winner. I'm going to make sure my mic's on this time. So
as I'm dishing, you announce, I'll dish.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully everyone can hopefully everyone can hear me. So we're going to go ahead and announce the winner of the Traeger Ranger Grill. So we got a comment from someone that it's actually a pretty interesting comment. He apparently is a gold prospector, Joe Cooper. Said he likes to gold prospect, and this would be perfect for him along the river as he's doing so. So congratulations, Joe. You're the brand new winner of a Traeger Ranger.
Congratulations, Joe.
What we're going to do, I'm going to ask you, since you were on Facebook, going to ask you to go ahead and send us a private message on Facebook. When you get a chance, we'll go ahead and reach out to you and arrange for you to grab that.
That's awesome.
We also, just if you missed it, we did just announce the winner of the meat cleaver as well. I apologize, I don't have that name right in front of me. But it was a YouTube watcher, so thank you. I believe it was David, YouTube watcher. So congratulations on that.
That's
You're going to
awesome.
love that thing. And just so you guys know, we're going to be giving away more stuff at our future in-person events at some of our stores. So we'll put the link at the bottom so you can check out where all these other events are going to be with Chef Lisa, and I believe Fat Daddy Meats is also going to be there.
Yes. Okay, so we have just about this one done, and then we'll just do a quick one on the soft tacos. Now on your avocado, some know, some don't. So if you know, just brush aside. A lot of you know, like, yeah, we know that one, but not everybody knows. Your seed, okay? Stab it with your knife, turn it. That's how you get your seed out. Easy peasy. A lot of you know, some of you don't know, but that's the easiest way. So fresh avocado.
Is there a way to tell how an avocado is ripe or not in a store?
Those, yes and no. You don't want to. There's two different types of avocado. Of course, these are like the Haas avocados. But do you ever see those the really big ones? Usually at the import stores, you'll see those nice big fat ones. Word of thumb is you don't want it too soft because then it's all bruised. So you want to get a little firmness, but enough where you can almost push it a little bit, but you don't want any soft spots at all in either avocado. You want to make sure it's definitely firm, but not hard as a rock, because we've gone to the grocery store, we've picked up those avocados as well where I know I could throw it through a window and break the window. So like you have to let it sit in a paper bag for days before you can even use it. Those are about useless. We're going to do a couple little jalapenos on top. Cinco de Mayo. Do a little bit of that. Now we're going to dish out these beans on top and garnish with the cilantro. Beautiful beans. Nice fresh burst on top. That's all you need. Flavor it. Let's get this on the board so you guys can get a nice look. Now, wouldn't you like to go sit down to this in a restaurant? Look at what we just did. Look at that one. It's beautiful. Beautiful plate. Soft tacos, same way. Same way, except for it's flatter. You don't get the crunch. Some just depends on what you prefer. Start by layering our purple cabbage. Pork belly. That beautiful belly on there. Beautiful. A little bit of onion. Okay, and fresh cilantro. Of course, when you go to some of the Mexican carts, you go to more of the authentic ones. They have the most wonderful hot sauces because I love hot. I love heat. I didn't do heat today because not everybody can always add heat, but you can't take it out. So I just did a nice tomatillo salsa, which you can pick it up already made at the store, or if you're making it, you get those little. You ever see those little tomatoes that look like they're wrapped in paper? Those are tomatillos. So you would take the paper off. You got to cook them down. You roast them, and after you roast them, that's when you puree it with garlic and all those different flavors, cilantro if you want to put chili in there or anything like that. that's how you would make a homemade tomatillo salsa. Very simple, just a little time consuming because when you take that paper off, it's sticky underneath. So, but that'll all cook out after you roast it. You know, a little olive oil or oil on the outside, roast them, perfect, you get tomatillo salsa. So now we're gonna put the soup beans in the cup and do rice and beans separate. So just different styles. Rice. Because just depends on how you like it. I prefer it like this because I like pouring my soup beans all over my rice, or I like eating the soup beans separate. Of course, you know me, I gotta, you know, when you're serving, you gotta clean it up, make it look all pretty. Fresh lime, put lime on each one. Cilantro, we got the jalapeno on each one, and avocado. Okay, guys, let's get this one over here. And you have two different styles. This is what we did today for Cinco de Mayo. And don't forget, this, the way I did this, we are pairing this. Remember the last one, even though our live feed didn't work? So I'm going to cheers to you guys. Pork belly street tacos. I'm going to take a crunchy taco. We'll do a taste test right now. So cheers to you guys. Happy Cinco de Mayo. This is actually the pineapple one, so this was nice and tropical, that matched. I'm gonna pour on. We're gonna be all sloppy. So cheers to you guys. So good. Perfect. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Don't forget, when I get back from Memphis in May, I can't remember the date of our next one. May 22nd. So tune in, we'll be advertising it. I'll be putting it on my Instagram, my Facebook personal page, my Facebook business page, TikTok. We'll be talking about what's gonna be happening. I will be announcing before, I'll probably put it in the actual event. I will let you guys know what's going to be happening and what we'll be making that day, so you kind of have an idea of what's going on, so it won't be like a surprise. I may do some surprises which I usually do when I do these events, but I will definitely let you guys know what we will be making, because as I'm cooking, if you're not able to come to the event, you might be able to do along with me and cook with me. We might be doing certain things like that where I'll be like, okay, these are the ingredients you guys need to get, so let's make these on May 22nd or whatever date that we're doing, so you can do it at home with me, and we'll do like a cooking class together. So there's all kinds of fun stuff going on this summer. So stay with us, and thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed the prizes, and don't forget, we'll be doing giveaways throughout each one. I'll be doing giveaways as well from my side, and happy Cinco de Mayo.
Guys, just to wrap up, 1 minute here. Thanks so much for joining us series. Hope you really liked it. Honestly, I wish you could be here right now to smell this stuff. I'm in the back of the building, and the food is just wafting all the way across here. It smells absolutely amazing. So I know you can't really smell it or taste it through these virtual events, but as Chef Lisa mentioned, we're going to be doing the live events starting on May 22nd at our Plain Township Canton store. We welcome you to those events. Those will be a couple hours long. We'll be cooking some food, so that's probably going to be the best time to smell it, taste it, see it, ask her questions live. So check out ehhardware.com/events, ehhardware.com/events. Or if you're watching this through Facebook, you can just jump on to the events section of our main E&H Ace Hardware Facebook page, and we've got all of our events for all of our different locations listed on there. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to seeing you at one of our future events this summer with Chef Lisa and Fat Daddy Meats. Have a great evening, everyone.